All right, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're from. Welcome to Corsace Closed 2023, the final match in the finals weekend, and one of the biggest matches of the tournament. Arguably the best tournament player in the world at the moment, against arguably one of the greatest players of all time. We have got our winners finals match here. Whoever wins this goes to the grand finals winners stage. It's maliszewski versus mrekk. The match of the tournament up till now. I'm Sad Shiva, and I'm honored to be joined by the wonderful Miles.
Good morning, Shiva. Obviously, it's awesome to be the NA caster, to be chosen to be the trooper for the 12 UTC Winners Finals, but for this match, it's going to be all worth it. maliszewski versus mrekk. This is the match of the tournament so far. This match could determine a little bit of the fate of the tourney scene for a while. Nobody has really been able to match maliszewski for the last year and a half, but now mrekk looking to be really, really much caring about this tournament. Really going to see if he has what it takes to take him down.
This is the dream scenario here for players who want to see a big fight against someone as dominant as maliszewski for such a long time now. For about nearly 2 whole years, maliszewski's been on top of the tournament scene for forever, basically. And there are very few, if not no players, aside from one, who people could see taking him down. And mrekk is that player. Of course, #1 player in the world, #1 on the solo leaderboards, far away, one of the greatest mechanics-heavy players of all time, one of the best DT and mechanics players in the tournament scene, against someone like maliszewski, who is a completely unstoppable, well-rounded demon. This is such an exciting matchup, and although the picks are more than kind of easy to assume for both of these players, the sheer fact that both of these guys are on a high star pool, 8 stars, might I add, is an up for debate of whether mrekk can push his skill ceiling to maybe take a few extra points from maliszewski. Granted, maliszewski has been the champion for some absurdly high star rating tournament pools, and so it's safe to say he's definitely going to be no slouch. But if these were the stages, finals and grand finals, this could be one of those matches where mrekk has a shot. This is the first time in a really long time that maliszewski has got, for what most people would say, a worthy opponent. And here we go. We're getting into the pick and ban stages here. What do you think we're going to see from both of these players, Miles? I've got a vague idea, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
I think the obvious picks and bans here are going to be pretty obvious. mrekk obviously going to be very advantage on the speed, while maliszewski going to be the same for reading. But when it comes to really everything else in this pool, when we get up to this star rating, I think it could go either way. So probably going to expect maliszewski to maybe strike out that DT3 and the DT2, both maps that mrekk should be extremely strong on, maybe in No Mod 5 as well. But I think the stats really tell the story of how these two players match up against each other. mrekk being advantage on the speed and stamina, those are his gold stats, but maliszewski having the gold stat in just about everything else, actually everything else. These two being the top 2 players in the tournament, Seed 1 and Seed 2. See it by their stats. Looks like maliszewski's going to be having the first ban, mrekk with the first pick. So, going to see if maliszewski does ban out one of those speed maps.
Yeah, I think looking into this, both of these players kind of want to eliminate the core strengths of the other opponent, because both of these guys are so well versed and so good on practically everything. You want to really go for their big major strengths over you, and I think with that, it's very clear what both of these guys want to go for. I think on paper, maliszewski wants to get rid of that high raw speed tapping mechanics, and mrekk wants to get rid of the reading and gimmick, because both of these guys on these opposite skill sets, despite being more than capable, definitely recognize that their opponent is far stronger, and they just don't want to deal with it. You know, they just want to get rid of what they're really strong with. We're not going to see everything will freeze, as Double Time 3 and No Mod 5 has been banned for maliszewski, No Mod 6 and No Mod 4 banned for mrekk.
I think these bans make a lot of sense for both these players. maliszewski, also one of the best tech players I think we've ever seen in the game, so the No Mod 4 ban going to make a lot of sense here for mrekk. Going to go into his first pick. He's got 3 DT maps remaining. I think he might be hesitant to pick that DT4, but DT1 and 2 both probably going to be early picks for mrekk. We're going to see what he decides to go with first here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have considered maybe Hidden 2 as an alternative option here for mrekk's ban. mrekk's gone for the no mod 4 here, the strong tech pick of the no mod pool. But when you think about it, this no mod 4 is extremely slider aim heavy, very, very awkward, and unless you're strictly well versed on the tech, you don't really want to go for it. And maliszewski is kind of known for not only being really versatile as a tournament player, but his signature skills is the tech and the hidden. And getting rid of that slider heavy tech is just eliminating a brilliant core strength here for maliszewski. But the opening pick of this match in the winners finals, mrekk goes for the double time 1 fantastic dreamer. We are already going into a banger of a map, Miles.
Yep, what a classic. And I mean, we saw Henry almost FC this yesterday getting a 1.18 mil on that. Like, that's actually insane. Gonna see if either of these players can match it. Obviously, our expectations are on the moon for these players.
Yep, this double time 1 is far and away the most mechanics heavy we've seen so far. This is a classic 2016 A map, if I remember correctly. 10.5 AR, high BPM aim consistency, with lots of dangerous 1-2 jump patterns, especially in the Kiais, where I think we'll see the most potential here for breaks. So far, so good for both these players. mrekk and maliszewski both holding on to equal accuracy and holding on to the full FC. But towards the late stages of this first Ki, we might see an initial break here. A few accuracy drops from both of these players, but so far so good for mrekk, who holds on to that tiny accuracy advantage, giving him the score lead.
Yeah, outside of the first chorus, mrekk establishing an accuracy lead of just about 0.2%. But it's really not going to be too much for his score, especially as he drops a mech as well. It looks like he's just going to be teetering on a knife's edge, but there goes maliszewski to find the first break on the map. mrekk going to be able to run away with his first pick here, as that break was in that dangerous 1/2 section, where if you do find that break, your score becomes capped at around 600k. And mrekk, as he continues to go on with his full combo, going to look very dominant here on his first pick, as he holds the FC through the second chorus. Wow.
Break comes through. Both players recognize their advantages here. mrekk maintains the FC past the second third of this map. maliszewski breaking on one of those core diff spikes. And you hate to say it, just an unfortunate break on that 1-2 section. Because of that timing of his break around the halfway mark, he's in a dangerous situation where his score is capped. He's going to have to hope for a break from mrekk very soon. But that diff spike does not phase him. He continues to hold on going into this guitar solo section, into the final Ki here. Lots of jumps here that could lead to a miss, but so far mrekk's lead is so far ahead. maliszewski has recovered and continues to hit into this diff spike section, dropping a little bit of accuracy but maintaining his combo, but it does not matter. mrekk looks super smooth on this so far. He may drop, but it's too far too gone here for Ristal. That one break and that miss at the very end is what seals it in the early stages here of this map. And mrekk with a beautiful 800,000 score on this DT1. An opening pick that will give him the first point on the board. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And once again, you'd expect this from mrekk. He's known for being the strong double time 1 player, arguably the best double time 1 player in the tournament. So it's safe to say he had this in the bag. But Ristal, not too bad either. 500k and missing the majority of his combo purely from one jump in the 1-2 section. You could have seen a reality where maliszewski could have made this a lot closer.
Yeah, and I mean, for 99% of us in here, that score from mrekk on Fantastic Dreamer is actually going to be our top play. Don't have the exact PP value. That is definitely well over 500. mrekk being the best DT aim player we've ever seen. This is the type of map where he's going to be really strong on it in single player, and maliszewski's going to respond in kind with the remaining reading pick. The Hidden 2, Yokohatsu Sakadan girl, going to be picked by maliszewski. And this is really just the smartest pick left on the board for him, the one that mrekk avoided in the ban phase, going for the Nomad 4 instead, banning out a tech pick. Going to be leaving open one of the most dangerous maps you can leave open against maliszewski, which is going to be a custom map by Hanabyte. And this map, yeah, I'm going to let it speak for itself. This map has some really difficult cuts, lots of difficult streams as well. Just awkward aim mixed in as well. Gonna see already some breaks from mrekk. maliszewski looking very comfortable through the beginning.
This map is the embodiment of just awkward and frightening reading sections here. We're already seeing multiple breaks here from both of our players. And this map is long, Miles. There's a lot of time to push forward here with the potential flip. 4 minutes long, AR8 awkward aiming gimmick. And as you already mentioned, tons of weird cuts, weird bursts, weird sliders, and very awkward overlapping finger control sections. You already see those weird aim triples that are tripping up maliszewski a little bit here. mrekk holds on and gets that combo advantage. And slowly he's going to flip his score lead into his favor, but so far so good. Ristel has managed to get a recovery into getting past this first quarter here. We're going to the zigzag section. maliszewski hits it, but breaks on that very corner section just there. mrekk does chain this after, but hitting that zigzag section as well does give him a combo lead just a little bit. But Ristel's holding on to this lead still, purely based on this accuracy here, Miles, of entire 3%.
Yeah, that's going to do a lot of work for him, but mrekk has started to recover. The accuracy was a lot lower than this, but he's starting to slowly approach 95, although finding a few act drops on this session is along with the slider break, gonna slow mrekk's comeback into this, but maliszewski has this accuracy lead alongside this re-established combo lead. Not anymore, actually. He also finds a break during this bridge section. Means mrekk once again gonna have an opportunity to claw back this lead, but with the accuracy deficit, he's gonna be hard-pressed to find it unless maliszewski does drop his accuracy down to around mrekk's as well. But we're really going to have to see. We're about to get into another one of those difficult chorus sections.
Going into another zigzag section here. Both players hit it, but the accuracy is what's really punishing mrekk here. maliszewski does drop, though. That's a lot of room for mrekk to potentially come back as long as he holds on past his TI. The score lead is slowly closing in, but the accuracy lead for maliszewski is so valuable for him. He's still holding on to the lead. It is slowly now flipping into his favor. As long as mrekk holds, which is a little bit longer, he will get the score lead. And there it goes. maliszewski breaks once again, and the break has been shown. mrekk knows his position. He knows what he's got to do to continue on. And maliszewski, that break just before, is going to really hit him hard. mrekk knows that he's got a massive combo advantage, and there's going to be a little bit of room here for potential free combo hits build up, but he breaks on nothing! Oh my god!
What's that, mrekk? That is maybe the worst miss I've ever seen in an OSU tournament, dude.
That's worse than Henry's miss on roundtable like ages ago.
Oh my god. He was in such a good position to come back on this pick. Now Ristel's act lead is going to be able to start to take over once again as he shoots back in the lead by about 8,000 score, but at this point in the map it's going to be enough as long as mrekk doesn't hold combo into this very difficult section to speed up hard. Probably the most difficult one on the map, but both players holding through it. Apart from mrekk actually finding a break right at the end of it, and now Ristel's going to look to just run this one into the ending.
Man, that miss from mrekk after the break, the first note after seeing his position is so tough to swallow. maliszewski's now running away with this lead, holding on to the BPM ramp-up section, as you already mentioned. It is speeding up a little bit, but it doesn't seem to matter. mrekk is now falling apart. maliszewski holds on to that remaining combo needed to overtake once again and maintain his lead. It looks so dangerous, but that tragic miss really was what sealed the deal for mrekk.
But to maliszewski's credit, he did clutch up very hard during this final TI section, up at over 550 combo, reapproaching 97 act. He's going to end up with well over 330k on this map, which is going to look pretty dominant on paper, but the map was very close up until that end section, so props to mrekk for making this first pick a lot closer than I think a lot of us expected it. But that's really the type of matchup you get with these two. So strong on so many different types of maps. mrekk obviously left open this HD2 for a reason. He didn't have no reason to ban the No Mod 4 instead of this. He was very close on this, but gonna be a good first pick for maliszewski. Pick going back to mrekk. There's still a DT map remaining in that DT2, but being more finger control based at a little bit of a lower BPM, I think he might be a little hesitant to pick it.
Considering mrekk's lost the 2 core raw speed mechanics maps here, the only other option he really has is that double time 2 in terms of the speed abuse. He does have the hidden 4, but that's very much abusable for maliszewski. I'm not sure if he would want to pick into that. I'd say more he wants to kind of lure maliszewski into picking that himself. But I think the only speed option he has at the moment is that DT2. He might want to go for the DT4 as well. It is high OD, high AR, ult with finger control as well. That could lean to a bit of his skill sets. Maybe he wants to go for one of the aim picks though. He did excel on that double time 1. Maybe he wants to aim for that hard rock one, or maybe the hidden one considering it's high BPM.
And it sounds like DT2
and it is DT2.
Another custom map. Akaitsuku Nisei. This is a local hero custom. And this map is this map has a little bit of history to it. It used to be mapped like a high 5-star alt map, but because that made it way too hard, we had to nerf the aim on it a ton. And now we just got a really awkward finger control map in the DT2 slot here. I think a little bit different from the stamina map that we've had throughout the tournament. But having 4 DT maps now, it's gonna be a wacky pick. I think it contrasts well with the rest of the pool. But here we go, quickly into it. Gonna be DT2, mrekk's second pick into maliszewski here. Definitely a little bit more dangerous than the prior DT1 pick. Still something that mrekk should theoretically be favored on.
Of course, yeah. Despite this being a little bit more of the weird aim finger control heavy stuff, there's still lots of mechanics implemented into this map. As you already mentioned, Miles, this has a lot of iterations, as you mentioned in the map will showcase, where originally it had a lot more ulti aim characteristics, and you can kind of see that shine a little bit onto this map. But on top of that, what really matters here is that finger control. Look at these weird single patterns and burst spammy sections here. It's really tripping up maliszewski in these early stages, leading to an early break and a major rank drop, and mrekk still holds on to that 400 combo going into the first quarter. This map, despite being very finger control heavy, will be testing your stamina in the late stages. And once again, that's where mrekk will shine. He is the next best player to Nidorek on this speed and high tapping mechanics. And you can already see how comfortable he is, despite having that 97. No slouch accuracy at all on this, getting close to that 98 as well. This is a no slouch of a score here from mrekk.
And he continues to hold his FC into the first half, FCing that difficult first KI section. Maliszewski breaking earlier on, but was able to reestablish his combo. But as of right now, mrekk is going to have a really big lead of about 180,000 score. Going to be pretty comfy going into last third, but with maliszewski on his tail with the combo, mrekk really is not safe to find a break here, but there really is just one more difficult TI section. Got another slow part here for these players to gather their nerves, get ready for that final TI.
Here we go. We're slowly ramping up to the next final third of this map. Difficulty starts to ramp up, and mrekk continues to hold on to his combo. Continues to hold on to his FC and extending his score lead very, very far. Another miss from maliszewski not long ago has given him such a big disadvantage. mrekk has led to the 1,000 combo mark, and I really don't think there's enough room for Ristal to come back on this. mrekk just looks so powerful on this. Refusing to give in to any combo, refusing to look uncomfortable in any way. He just looks so good on this, and once again, another miss from Ristal. If that wasn't sealing the coffin, I don't know what does. mrekk bounces back with another point on the board on this double time 2 in absolutely spectacular fashion on this DT2, no less. He gets the FC.
This score is unreal. Locking in his FC, mrekk going to be the first FC on this DT2 for the weekend. What is this score? Maliszewski not even doing too bad for himself, getting almost 500k. That was better than what most of the test players were getting on this still. But what is this score? mrekk going to get his second point on the board. Now maliszewski back to his pick, but that's got to be a little bit of a stunner there.
mrekk is just setting constant high PP scores as well on this. Might I add, his previous score on DT1 was 800 PP flat, according to production, and 600 PP on this DT2. Yeah, those are scores I would dream of, and he does it in tournament against the most formidable tournament player in the world right now. That's just mrekk for you on these mechanics maps.
May I remind everyone here that in this tournament, no one has gotten more than 3 points against maliszewski. Swaggy got 3 points against maliszewski, but everyone else getting no more than 2. So mrekk already doing better than most players in the tournament, or doing as well on his first 2 picks. And now maliszewski's going to respond in kind with that Hard Rock 2. This is the extreme precision aim. Honestly, I feel like this could be a bit of a toss-up pick here from maliszewski.
This Hard Rock 2 is a little bit of a dangerous one here for Ristal. Of course, he's very formidable on this precision. He is the golden stat of precision. He's golden stat for everything except for speed and stamina, which is taken by none other than mrekk. So safe to say he's obviously going to be comfortable on this precision. However, this map is very aim heavy. Lots of really awkward streams, lots of frightening jumps that can really trip you up. And this you could see in paper being something that's up mrek's alley. So this is a very dodgy pick here for maliszewski, as mrekk is more than capable of performing really well on this, and an early break from Ristel is going to give mrekk that early advantage. Accuracy, though, is in maliszewski's favor, so if we do see a soon break here from mrekk, or maybe a trade, we could see it maybe flip more into maliszewski's favor. This is one of the shorter maps here in the pool as well, might I add. About 1 minute and 50 seconds long, not that much time to adapt, so that early break from Ristel could be much more dangerous than most maps would have. And so far, mrekk looks great, but both players do trade the breaks here, but the accuracy is very, very even. So Ristel somehow does maintain his lead, which is really dangerous situation here for mrekk. We're getting to the halfway mark and the combo is dead even.
Yeah, the lead for maliszewski is just marginal here, just around 10,000 score. Going into the last third of the map, I think the next big combo is really going to determine this. If either player finds the drop, it's going to send it very heavily in the other's direction, especially with the Accolade being as small as you mentioned. Ooh. And maliszewski's going to find the drop. mrekk now going to be able to take the lead on maliszewski's second pick. Only a quarter left in the map. Still holding on to that combo, gets through the squares, gets through the screen. mrekk is going to look to take an early break point here in the last PI section. Finally finding a drop, but I don't know if there's enough time for maliszewski to even come back, especially as that accuracy gap is sealed up. mrekk now 50k in the lead. It's looking really late for maliszewski on this pick.
I told you, Miles, this is dangerous pick territory here for Ristel, and it's gone back to bite him in the backside. mrekk takes the first breakpoint of the match and takes the lead 3-1.
That is unreal now. mrekk already tying Suwagi. This is the best performance we've seen against maliszewski, except mrekk, I guess in contrast to every other time, he's looking very strong so far in this match, taking an early breakpoint. He is up 3-1. No one's been in this position for a long time. Finally, it looks like someone has some answer for maliszewski so far in the tournament scene. But now, pick does go back to maliszewski. Or no, back to mrekk. It's a breakpoint. Yeah. What am I talking about?
Yeah, this is a breakpoint. So it's mrekk's chance now to extend his lead even further. And considering how high SR this map pool is, I mean, this isn't even grand finals, Miles. And mrekk's got plenty of time to even abuse in grand finals, even if he gets taken out in this one. The higher skill cap this gets, the more beneficial it is for mrekk, and we're already seeing the fruits of that, not even in the grand finals here. mrekk's now got a chance to be 3 points up against maliszewski, where everybody else struggled to get 3 points, period, except for one in Suwagi. And so mrekk's in a beautiful position here to establish a really dominant starting lead here in the first half of this match. What is he going to go for next? Maybe the Nomad 1, maybe the Nomad 2. Those are two very plausible maps to go for here. What other options do you think he's going to go for? Because I think Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1, and Nomad 2 are kind of the ideal options here for mrekk to go for.
I think you're pretty right. Nomad 2 is what I was about to say, and he does go for it. The Stamina Nomad 2, something that really goes up his alley. It's what he's got the gold stat in. Nomad 2, very difficult flowing, very difficult stamina. Just really an mrekk type of map, I think. This is going to be a good pick for him.
Yeah, this Nomad 2 is much more mechanics heavy. Lots of stamina, lots of very frightening flow-in patterns. This is very long, 220 to 235 BPM. It does have varying BPM changes, which is why that's the stat that it shows. It's mostly 220, but this map is long, Miles. 3 minutes and 46 seconds long. Plenty of time for either of these players to come back from an early deficit. But this is definitely up mrekk's alley. You can already see it. Lots of tight and kind of unique stream shapes and cuts with some pretty awkward spacing changes as well. But the high BPM that's consistent through this map is what's going to give mrekk that edge in the tech mechanics. But so far in this early intro section, maliszewski does hold the lead and the accuracy in both combo as well.
Yeah, through the beginning, maliszewski's still up at 99%. Gonna give him a pretty good advantage. Finding a little bit of an active drop, but still gonna have the full combo and accuracy advantage over mrekk. But he has found his footing so far on this pick as well. Up at 350 combo, he's gonna be in striking distance if maliszewski does find the drop. But as of so far, he's looking very comfortable on this pick.
Yeah, surprisingly so. maliszewski's looking really, really good on this so far. mrekk is seeming to struggle a little bit in evening out the accuracy, but it is the combo that's staying very, very close. mrekk still managed to recover as if it never really phased him, which is great situation here into this first third here. There's plenty of time for mrekk to come back, and the combo is very, very close. We're going into the first major stream section here with lots of varied spacing. You can already see the tightness of these patterns, which leads to a chain miss from both players. It is now dead even in the accuracy department, but that early lead from maliszewski is going to establish about 30,000 score in his favor.
Yeah, lead is fairly secure right now for maliszewski, up about 40,000. Gonna be pretty good for the time being, but I think it's really gonna be those dangerous chain breaks that will decide the lead. And another break from mrekk, gonna drop this combo once again, along with the accuracy, but maliszewski matches it in turn. Gonna find an act drop as well, gonna be just about 40k as well of difference, but another break from mrekk.
Oh my god, that 1/3 pattern is absolutely disgusting, and despite Ristal breaking before, he holds on to that specific section, and so the combo's reset back into his favor. There's more streams to boot. We're going into the halfway mark, Miles. This map is long, man, and there are even longer maps in this pool. Another miss there from mrekk. He can't get his foot back onto the ground. Ristal is holding onto his lead and extending it further and further going into this final third here. There's a little bit of a slowdown section now, with a little bit of time to build up some combo. And this is kind of mrekk's last shot here to maybe get some combo to overtake. Ristal, though, is holding ahead, keeping mrekk away at arm's reach with a big 60,000 score lead as well. There's a little bit of a slow session before we go into the final ki, but this is where it will get the hardest towards the late stages. It really wraps up into the final quarter, and this slow section is giving Ristal lots of free combo here and lots of free score to expand on. mrekk has got a bit of a small recovery, but he's going to have to really hope for a break from Ristal soon, otherwise the score is going to get way too far ahead for him to come back on. And this is where it gets tough, and mrekk has gone. Ristal, or maliszewski, looks so, so good right now.
Yeah, this is the most Ristal thing you could possibly do. We finally think we have some hope against maliszewski. And, you know, it's the most Ristal thing you could do. Just find another break point after your opponent's very unlikely break point. It's just, that's just how closely matched these two players are on a map pool like this. I think it was really just outside of those two main skill sets of speed and reading. No one else really has to advantage on everything, and maliszewski is just going absolute gamer mode through the end.
He's tearing through this map! What is that from maliszewski? He absolutely tears apart the final section of this map. When those streams, you already saw it, ladies and gentlemen. Those were brutal. But maliszewski breezes through it like it was a cakewalk. It really was those spacing alternate sections that tripped up mrekk. He couldn't keep up with the alternating spacing and the flow aim differences. The velocity changes were just not enough for him. And maliszewski just showed how dominant he is on nearly damn everything, and just pops off on that final section, getting 1.1k combo in what's arguably the hardest section of the map. Very much a Ristal thing to do, and now he's got a great opportunity to even the playing field after this breakpoint.
Yeah, looking at these results screen, it actually just looks like a little bit of a difference in comfort on that. maliszewski just overall looking more comfortable on the spacing on that map than mrekk. I think neither player probably having much of an issue with the stamina, but the aim patterns in that absolutely brutal for a stream map. And now Pick does go back to maliszewski, as you mentioned, does have a chance to even it up, now with a break point of his own in his back pocket. Gonna see if he decides to go for one of the hiddens, arguably maliszewski's best skill set. Now I'm listening here, it sounds like a hidden 4 is gonna be picked.
It is gonna be hidden 4.
Wow, another one of the longer maps in this pool. Map almost 5 minutes in length. I like to describe this as mech tech, very high BPM, mechanics and tech mixed into one awesome pick are hidden 4.
Yep. Definitely true. But once again, I'd argue that this is another risky pick here from Ristal. I'm surprised that he's not kind of trying to bait mrekk into picking this late stage, because this is one of the more heavily contested ones. Once again, mechanics heavy, and mrekk in the tournament scene is kind of defined as the best mechanics in this tournament, let alone in the whole damn world. There is no player better at high mechanics, no player with a higher skill cap than mrekk himself. And so when you have these mechanics-heavy tech maps, yes, this is very much a comfort side here for maliszewski, but I wouldn't be surprised to see mrekk put up a potential good score on this, which is always a dangerous prospect if you're looking for a neutral matchup and wanting maliszewski to even this out. But maliszewski knows what he's doing. Here we go. We're going into this hidden 4. And you can already see the massive tech come through. Lots of really funky sliders, lots of really awkward aim sections that can trip you up if you're not prepared for them. But so far, so good for both these players. Bristol holds on to the early lead in terms of the accuracy, but the combos remain dead even. You can already see here lots of these fighting sections, and mrekk does miss a few slider ends, but it remains dead even in the accuracy department. No slider breaks just yet, despite that cheesing from mrekk. A sign of comfort is more leaning towards maliszewski. And going on to this first quarter here, it's so far so good for both these players, and there's plenty of time for something to go down.
Yeah, once again, you can kind of see a difference in comfort so far in this map. As long as mrekk is holding the combo game, he will have a chance, but maliszewski, you can see him, he is aiming all of these sliders just like a champ. The 3% accuracy difference is going to start to be apparent as we get further and further into the map. Right now, only about 20k worth in score. But both players make it through the first third of the map with the FC still intact. But you can see they actually have a difference in combo because, as you said, mrekk is going to be cheesing some slider ends on this. So maliszewski, so far, going to look to have an advantage on this pick. We've still got a lot of map to go.
Going in, building up the slow section, we're ramping up the difficulty now, going back to what was first present in the ki, building up here, a lot more jumps, and that awkward square pattern does not trip up either of these players. It's looking so even, but the accuracy remains to stay in favor of maliszewski here, despite it getting a little bit closer than before, but mrekk drops on a jump! A very awkward situation now, because he's going to have to hope for a break from Bristol right now, otherwise it's almost certain to be over, and maliszewski hits all of that. He's in such a domineering position now. This slow build-up is going to give him more and more combat. As long as he holds into at least the first half of this ki, there's not going to be any room for mrekk to come back.
You know, we talk about dangerous sections to miss at. The halfway point is the worst spot you can miss at in any map in an OSU tournament. maliszewski does finally find the drop, but he's already amassed a 70k score lead. It's going to be looking really good for maliszewski as long as he can hold on to the accuracy lead as well. Because
another cut from mrekk.
Finding some drops. So yeah, there's really not much mrekk can do as long as malisz can hold on to some combo.
Lots of time for Bristol to maintain his lead and hope for a break from mrekk, and that has happened. An unfortunate miss from mrekk on that final section, that final circle in the section, which is going to once again give that combo advantage back to maliszewski. The break comes through as well. Both these players know their situations, and Bristol sees the opportunity to continue to steamroll ahead. That combo advantage, along with the accuracy, along with the score, is just such a great situation here for maliszewski. But mrekk had a really frightening first half, and he has gained a decent amount of score in this early half, but there's really not that much time left here for mrekk. We're building up going into the final ki, the final quarter of this map, and Bristol continues to hold on to a substantial combo advantage. And once again, more slowdown sections to give him the free combo building up in this ki. It's slowly extending, getting close now to that 1 million.
maliszewski now with a 100k score-ish of lead. Gonna be looking really good for him, especially as mrekk finds another drop on the jumps there, but yeah, I mean, hidden tech, it is still a maliszewski skill set, as much as it may also be compatible to mrekk. maliszewski just flexing his muscles on this. He's going to be evening it out here on the Hibi 4. Going to go back to equalizing at 3 apiece now after the end of this chorus section here. Not really much mrekk can do left in this pick.
Yeah, there's no time left now for mrekk to recover. He held a really good combo going into the first half, but once the second half came through and losing that main big combo, he couldn't maintain anything substantial. Despite Bristol breaking now, it's not going to be enough. And there's not a million, sorry. I don't know why I said a 1 million score lead. I meant 100,000. My apologies. I don't know why it was 1 million. That makes 0 sense. Imagine having a 1 million difference. Imagine having a 1 million score difference in tournament. It's definitely happened before, but that must be unreal.
malisz would have to FC this for that to happen, and mrekk would have to not really do well at all.
Literally not play the game. But that's it. Bristol manages to even out the playing field now, 3-3 on what was in the first half quite a dangerous pick here. But in the late stages, mrekk crumbled, and he couldn't get the combo that he needed to fight back. And with that, it's 3-3. mrekk's opportunity to pick now and give himself a lead again. But this is a good sign here from Bristol. An unfortunate early start, but he's come back marvelously. And we have ourselves a big series, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, tied at 3 means we are now in a best of 7. We've got 4 picks for either of the players here. It could win them the match. But pick going back to mrekk, he's really out of those comfortable maps. There isn't really too much raw mechanics left in the map pool for him. But there are a few aim maps remaining as well. There's a Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1, Hidden 1, all maps remaining that mrekk really does usually like to pick. Probably going to be hesitant to pick those into maliszewski, but definitely not much where he has a strength overlapping with a maliszewski weakness, if you could even say he has any.
Yeah, the thing with maliszewski is that he's not weak on anything. He's just less dominant on something. Yeah, I think the least insane thing that maliszewski is probably that speed, but that is not to say he's a slouch at all. He is still one of the best speed players in this tournament, despite being basically the best on everything else. And it will be Hard Rock 1 that's picked here for mrekk. Tomei Elegy.
Yep, Tomei Elegy, this is such a classic. I mean, I think if you haven't been living under a rock for the last 5 years, or last 10 years even almost, you probably know what this map is. It's been one of the top aim maps, I guess, for a very long time. Maybe a little bit phased out by the tenacity of today's aim maps, but still, this map should have a lot of notoriety for people in chat. Very, very iconic. Now we're pulling it here as Hard Rock 1. I think a lot of this is really going to come down to the difficult sections at the end. This map is fairly simple, actually. Probably the easiest in the pool until that really difficult jump section at around the 2/3 mark. And I'm really going to be seeing if anyone manages to hold on through that, because I think that will really determine the map.
Tomei Elegy Hard Rock 1, it's generally quite conventional aim consistency, but the key eyes are where this really ramps up. We see a massive scatter of multiple diff spikes throughout this map, especially the guitar solo section before the final key eye, where we are more than definitely going to probably see a break, because it is genuinely absurd. If someone holds their FC through that pattern, it's bound to be a Reddit clip. I'm telling you that for sure. And yeah, this map, lots of high skill count raw aim stuff, and the Hard Rock simply makes these patterns even harder, with lots of cross stream jumps, lots of really frightening patterns, and as well as that, quite a few linear high spacing streams as well. Not too many, granted, but there will be 1 or 2 that will pop up, which could lead to potential break for any of these players who don't expect it. But so far, so good for both these players. In fact, it's maliszewski who's looking the more comfortable player here. 99.81 accuracy, illegal accuracy in this situation. mrekk, though, is holding on to a brilliant FC, tying up maliszewski in the combo department. It's the accuracy where he's at the deficit here, which gives Ristel that 10,000, 15,000 score difference here.
I'm really not going to be expecting any breaks from either of these players until that very difficult jump section I mentioned earlier. Like honestly, it would have to probably be nerves to make either of these guys break on something like this. Although this could be like a top play for probably most of us. For these players, this map is probably pretty easy. As we can see so far, already at the halfway section, both players holding on to FC still.
It feels so surreal to hear this song in Tournament Miles. It's absurd, but we're going into the big jumps here. It get cut off. Maliszewski's going to be dropping, but we're going into the big guitar solo section here. This is the chance for maliszewski to pray from a break here from mrekk. He does get the score flip, and mrekk is holding on to these jumps, but there's a bigger jump section coming through. He hits that jump. It's going to hit the final stream section. Does he? I don't know. Discord buffing. He does.
Okay.
He hits it.
Oh my god.
Okay, sorry. The Discord stream lagged for a second, but he hits it. And now, I mean, come on. Can Ristel come back from this? There's even more time to gauge more combo for mrekk, especially with that break being shown. He knows how far ahead he is now, and wow, what a performance from mrekk on this Hard Rock 1. His lead is now absolutely skyrocketing, and it's only going to skyrocket more as long as he holds on to that final key. Considering he FC'd that big guitar solo section, I think it's safe to say it's more than possible, unless he maybe gets hit by nerves, but knowing mrekk, I doubt it. maliszewski drops once again, only seen in the coffin deeper and deeper underground.
Yep, this is the #1 player in the world here, getting through that square section. We're going to see if he hits the final difficult jump of the map, and he does. And it looks like mrekk is lining himself up here for a Hard Rock FC on Tomei Elegy, going to be potentially his second FC of the match. That is just absolutely unreal. We're going to need to get a PP check on this one. We're going to need a PP check on this one.
We are going to need a PP check.
And he gets through it. That is a Hard Rock FC on Tomei Elegy in a tournament match.
That is the second FC from mrekk and the third super high PP score on this tournament match. 672 PP for mrekk and a fantastic FC on this Hard Rock 1. Wow, that's the #1 player in the world for you. This is why mrekk is on the throne that he is. One of the tallest and furthest up thrones on the mountains of us leaderboards. And he's there for a reason. Because God, is he so damn good on these aim mechanics. maliszewski did try a very admirable 500k. But those space streams, I think, was what actually hit maliszewski the most. I noticed that multiple of those misses were more chain misses on those super space streams, which I did mention before to be potential drops here. But after a domineering performance from mrekk on this Hard Rock 1, it is Hard Rock 3 picked here for maliszewski.
Yep, this is probably one of the stronger picks for maliszewski. The Hard Rock, I guess, finger control gimmick. It's definitely on the different side of the DT2 finger control. This one going to be probably leaning more towards the gimmickier side, which is going to ultimately favor maliszewski over mrekk. But still, at this point in the match, it's already, I think, past the point of safe picks for either of these players. This is going to be something that mrekk can also play, and definitely going to be another opportunity for a break point here. Also, one thing I'd like to add is that hidden tech map that Bristol did really well on, he got 668 on that. I have no idea how. It's a tech map, and he didn't even come close to an FC. That is so unreal.
Well, welcome to Corsace Closed, and welcome to the winners finals with two of the arguably most dominant players in the world. And we're going into this Hard Rock 3 now. maliszewski once again a foot down on the points department. He's got to try and get that overtake, and this Hard Rock 3 is his next choice here. And we're already seeing a little bit of a struggle from both of these players. We're both seeing multiple breaks. We're both seeing act drops equaling each other. It really is that minor combo advantage that is going to give mrekk that tiny, tiny lead, but not for long, as Risto now holds on to that combo advantage, which is going to lead to that score flip. But it could even lead to a break or an act drop. Another break from mrekk here.
The act lead now going a little bit further in favor of maliszewski, but it's really also going to be that 300 combo to steal it. He's already taken about a 50k score lead here for maliszewski. Going into this slower section. Going to be really looking good for maliszewski here. Look at going into the last third of the map. Going to see if he manages to hold on to that, because mrekk is right on his tail, reestablishing a combo up approaching 200. Here we are into the last TI. Let's see what happens.
This is where the vertical control gets tested even more. Way more finger control, way more difficult sections. You can already see a little bit more overlapping on the sliders, and we do see a break from maliszewski, but mrekk cannot gauge the combo needed. He's only on about 200, and there's not that much time left. There's only about a quarter of the map remaining, and this map, in and of itself, is only 2 minutes long. maliszewski's lead has already been established. It's just dropped down from 100,000, but that's not going to be enough time. mrekk still holding on to the combo, though. But there's not going to be enough room. You can already see the little bit descending here, but after that miss from mrekk, it's definitely been sealed. maliszewski will indeed be taking this Hard Rock 3.
Looking very strong at it, up above 400k. Be a very good score here for maliszewski. Going to be outlasting mrekk on that one.
This map is dirty.
Yeah, this map is crazy.
These scores from both of these players, even from mrekk, who was a losing player in this map, that was a very impressive score. You cannot go wrong with it. Yeah, this Hard Rock 3 is absolutely brutal. Very unforgiving, very, very difficult. And you can already see from both of our top players who, even then, couldn't scrape over 500k. That's when you know 400k is really damn impressive. So big props to maliszewski.
Now 4-4 goes the score. We are now at a best of 5. 3 maps left for either player could win the match. We are once again even. I think we're just barreling towards that tiebreaker. I feel like it's just inevitable. I'm really, really hoping for it. Yeah, as of right now, pick does go back to mrekk. At this point, you probably start considering the DT4 if you're mrekk, but that is definitely going to be a trap for maliszewski, something he's going to be hoping for mrekk to pick. So maybe could still be looking to go into some more aim maps. Still got a hidden one and a nomad one on the table. Probably things he would want to pick before that DT4. And if my ears don't deceive me, that sounds like a Hard Rock 4. This is ballsy. This might be the most RNG map in the pool. You've got high circle size, aim control cut streams, and I'd like to say this is just the older brother of the Hard Rock 2 from quarterfinals, that alt map we had in Hard Rock 2 back then. But this map it's a big brother for a reason. This map is unreal. If you miss once on any of these cuts, you miss the entire thing, and you can already see going into the beginning.
This Hard Rock 4 is that one big brother who's just way better at school than the younger brother. Yep. He just does better in every other regard. And you can already see the massive test in flow aim here. This is one of the most aim control heavy maps in the tournament scene. It's just absurd. And it's a ballsy pick nonetheless here. You kind of do see maliszewski on paper performing relatively well on this. So it's a gutsy pick for mrekk to go for. But on top of that, this map is a little bit on the short side here. 1 minute and 39 seconds long, which is why Miles earlier regarded this as RNG. Because yes, in theory, a singular break can really determine the ending of a match here. And that break from Ristal, breaking his lead in the combo, is going to give mrekk that small advantage going into the first half. Big space section there does not trip up either of the players here. mrekk holds on to his lead in the first half.
And mrekk still holding on to that big combo. As you can see, the map is already almost 2/3 over. We're about to go into the chorus section, though. This is where the streams get the most intense, so we're going to see who manages to find the break first. mrekk still holds on.
God, these sections are terrifying. These sections are horrifying to watch. Look at these sections, Miles. mrekk is finally
what is maliszewski doing?
But maliszewski goes on a little bit of a quick rampage, a little bit of a quick Cookie Z moment, and just pops off on that flowing section. He does end up missing just a little bit more, but that time he had holding on was just enough to flip the score lead in his favor. And there's no time for mrekk to come back, unless there's quite literally a complete fall apart, a tablet disconnect even. maliszewski has flipped the odds, and just barely towards that final tough section takes the Hard Rock 4, sorry. That's insane. What a play from maliszewski into that final tough stream section diff spike. That was absurd. And that single-handedly gave him that lead back.
It was looking so good for mrekk, but he just finds the break a little bit too early. And, because this is under 2 minutes in length, if mrekk had just held for like 5 more seconds, it might have ended up being in his favor at the end. But maliszewski going God mode quite literally on that ending with the aim control. Going to be stealing that one back, taking a crucial break point at this juncture of the match. Going to go back to maliszewski's pick, and he's going to be picking to make it to match point on this next map. But what do you pick now if you're maliszewski?
You are in shoddy territory here if you're maliszewski. Granted, you do have some good maps to go off of, most notably probably the Hidden 3, probably the No More 3, 2 valid options to go for here. You maybe want to go for one of the DTs, maybe DT4, but that's a bit more of a dangerous one. But maliszewski's one map away here from securing himself TB, and it seems to be the pick has been decided, and it will be DT4.
This is a gutsy pick for either of these players, because no matter what, you're picking into a little bit of the strength of your opponent here. But I think I like this pick a little bit more from maliszewski, as much as I was talking about mrekk maybe potentially picking it. I think the alt-style map that this will really go to favor maliszewski's skill set, but once again, it's high AR alt. It's nothing that mrekk can't do. But still, this map has been brutal. Custom map, probably with one of the lowest average scores we've seen on this map pool. Gonna be something where I think the skill cap of mrekk maybe could come back to seal this in the end.
Yes, there's double time 4, custom by Thunderbird. AR 10.3, OD 10.5 is something that I think we should add as a big factor in the difficulty of this map. Accuracy is going to be a bit of a struggle here, maybe a few unfortunate misses, but you can already see the absurdity in this map. This is super dense ult and finger control, with the key eyes in particular really ramping up in difficulty here. This DT4, also 2.5 minutes long, a bit more on the shorter side compared to the majority of the maps in this pool. Granted, it isn't short on paper.
maliszewski going to be finding some early drops on the beginning, but he has gotten his foothold back. But accuracy lead still is going to be in favor of mrekk for the time being. Just about a single % separates them, along with a slight combo lead. But here we go, about to get into the first chorus section. See if either player finds a break. Neither player getting tripped up by any of the flow aim so far. Let's see if both players get through it. Oh my god,
look at the BPM ramp up. The BPM ramp-ups in this Ki are absurd, but mrekk and maliszewski just continue to hold on. mrekk, though, he does find a break just after it. And now maliszewski got a great chance to split the score lead now. He's going to be holding on to the next third. And now there's plenty of time for maliszewski to potentially secure himself another pick. He's slowly building up here, and there's still a little bit of time left. We're getting close to that halfway mark. If mrekk is to hold throughout the rest of this map, and maliszewski's to break close to this halfway mark, that was a really tough aim control section, and Ristel, after hitting the whole thing, unfortunately breaks. But mrekk does trade it. It's back to even ground here in the combo department. But the lead from Ristel in the score department with that earlier combo is what's going to keep him in the lead so far. Another break from Ristel building up to this high diff spike section. mrekk, though, cannot get a combo.
I think mrekk really needs to take an accolade right now, but Ristel isn't finding any chain misses. Neither player finding chain misses, surprisingly enough. We've seen a lot of people really struggle with these patterns, but both players are going to mostly make it through unscathed. About a 50k score lead for maliszewski going into the last chorus should be pretty safe, especially as mrekk finds a break on this lower section. And it looks like we might be seeing a match point here come out for maliszewski. And if you're mrekk, what are you thinking at the end of this map?
Just lock no mod 1. That's the only thing I can think of at the moment. Locking that no mod 1, get yourself a momentum swing. And by then, there's a lot more pick options here for Ristel that could go into your favor. Going into the ending section here, but it's too little too late here for mrekk. Ristel, despite breaking, it's not going to be enough mrekk to come back. Beautiful, beautiful entry performance here. And it's what's going to give him that secured match point against mrekk to secure himself potentially that big top throne spot in the grand finals. But he's still got one map to go, and mrekk's next choice. And my only thought is just go for that no mod 1. Shoot for the no mod 1. Hope you get your momentum back and maybe get another breakpoint to secure TB.
Yeah, I mean, the pool is starting to whittle down. There aren't too many picks remaining. I believe there's a no mod 3. There's no mod 3. There's hidden 1. There's no mod 1. And then after that, there is nothing. Those are the only 3 maps remaining.
Yeah, no mod 1, no mod 3, hidden 1, and hidden 3. There are no more double times. There are no more hard rocks. It is just the no mod and hiddens left in for mrekk to potentially play off of. But I think it's fairly obvious to go for the no mod 1 here. I think despite there being multiple maps that could go in mrekk's favor, like the hidden 1, I don't think you want to go into a comfort pick here for maliszewski. I think you just want to go for what you're known to be super, super strong on. That no mod 1, Kagaranaki Yume.
It's literally like an aim training map.
It's literally, yeah.
mrekk probably just completely smacks down. It's something that he probably eats up for breakfast, but at this stage in the match, it's really that bread and butter pick for him that I probably want to go for. Obviously, picking HD into maliszewski at this point in the match is going to be really, really difficult to do. At least if you're thinking about it analytically, that's something that maliszewski is just not really lost to almost anyone in the scene. So going for that...
Yeah. No mod 1 is the literal definite. Whoa, he's going for the no mod 3.
Okay.
Oh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous.
I don't know actually if there was any more dangerous pick than this, but the no mod 3, the aim control alt, gonna be what maliszewski stakes his life on.
Granted, let's not doubt mrekk too hard on this, because although I think the bigger question is, why go for the no mod 1? Why not go for the no mod 1? Of course, yes, no mod 3 is a capable map here for mrekk. This is very aim control heavy, and of course, this being such high star rating mechanics is going to be a big factor in this, but maliszewski is more than capable of performing exceptionally well on this no mod 3. So I'm really questioning why going to no mod 3 when you can go into one of your core strengths in the no mod 1. It's surprising me a little bit here, but maybe mrekk has something up his sleeve. Maybe he's got a comfort side that he could win off of. But now losing the opportunity to go for one of those secure aim picks in the no mod 1 and losing the chance for maybe maliszewski to pick into the hidden 1, it's a bit of a dangerous situation here for mrekk, and it's do or die. He's got to take this pick, otherwise Ristel will be securing himself that number 1 spot in the grand finals and the winner's side podium, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess the logic for this here is do not doubt the number 1 player in the world. Let's see what he has for us on this map. He's going to be hard-pressed here to beat maliszewski. One of his strong skill sets here, the ult. But mrekk, surely, as you mentioned, going to give us a show here. Fighting for his life now, back up against the wall. He needs to win this pick. Already through the first 1/3. maliszewski still holding on to his SS. But we've yet to really get into one of those difficult chorus sections where we're really going to be expecting to see breaks from either player into that little expanding pattern. Both players hold on. about to get into the chorus. Let's see if either player finds a break here. This is where the aim control becomes the most difficult.
Going into this Ki here, both of these players looking very, very even on the combat department. It's the action department where maliszewski gains the advantage, and this is what I was afraid of. maliszewski's so even here, so well contested. If both of these players know what they're doing and can hold on to the substantial combo towards the late stages here, we could see an accuracy battle, which is such a dangerous scenario here. And we're going into a massive flowing section here that could lead to a chain miss, and there it is! It does trip up mrekk, but it does also trip up maliszewski. Despite mrekk being the early one to break, maliszewski continues to hold on to the advantage, and that tiny timing in the chain miss has given maliszewski a very substantial lead in the score. And this is such early territory for mrekk. What do you do in this situation? You've lost massively in the accuracy department, and it's the combat department where your opponent just has a slight edge over you. You cannot gain any score against him. maliszewski's has got such a great hold on mrekk right now, and we're going into the final quarter here. Neither of these players refuse to budge, but in that regard, so does the score difference. maliszewski just holds on to his lead. It's just flat out just oppressing mrekk, and he can't get a combo. He does drop once again, and maliszewski's running away with it now. I think that's been decided.
Yep, and at the end of the day, the monster reigns supreme. maliszewski gonna stand once again at the top, making it through his toughest opposition yet, mrekk, but still going to be winning 7-4. And that's a GG well played. maliszewski securing his spot in grand finals on the winner's side. mrekk gonna be going down to loser's bracket to face off against Emery. Mrekk.
Good one, Miles.
Yep. Hey,
well, that is going to be it. It is maliszewski that comes up on top in the battle between an immovable object and an unstoppable force. It is maliszewski who comes out on top, and he will be your secured top seed and your top grand finals player, the man who will be on the throne up the top awaiting his opponent. And it's going to be either mrekk or Henry in the grand finals weekend. But what a match this was, Miles. So many things could have flipped in different scenarios. So many different picks could have been won. And so many other maps could have been picked. Of course. I mean, the big outlier here is the No Mod 1.
I think the momentum really swapped with that Hard Rock 4. That map really needed to go mrekk's way. That map I called RNG ended up going maliszewski's favor in what would end up being really a 3-0 run for maliszewski at the end of this match here to close out mrekk. Really strong stuff from him.
And this is the first time in a while where we've seen an opponent that could be the first person to take down maliszewski's unstoppable one-year reign. The last time maliszewski ever lost in a 1-versus-1 tournament setting was all the way a year ago when he lost and came third place in Corsace Closed 2022. It was such a long time ago, but since then, he has become absolutely unstoppable. And despite us seeing some good efforts from valiant opponents in the past, it's been mrekk who's been the closest so far to ending his reign. And we saw some sparks of potential here. And if we see mrekk take down Henry, which granted will be a tough opponent, but if mrekk is to take him down, that skill cap is going to really benefit him. Once again, it's going to get harder and harder for maliszewski to win. But mrekk does have to face a very strong opponent in Henry, who has been on an absolute rampage. But here we go. That is it. GG's.
We're actually going to be doing